walk this path quite a lot on my daily walks. Sometimes this way round, sometimes I come from the opposite direction. Sometimes I have to stop recording, finish my sentence very, very quickly, because obviously somebody could come walking towards me with their dog, or just walking like as I go walking, and obviously I don't want anybody else on the picture without their consent. So this morning it looks quite clear. We'll see how far we get. It's been raining, and as I left the house it was raining, but at the moment it seems to have stopped. I don't think it's spitting now. I think it's just there's a wind, which is always interesting. But yesterday or the day before I filmed a clip here about change. How most days when I walk this path, whichever direction I walk in, sometimes I do it both ways on some days. Other days I just focus on one way and keep doing that round and round if I can. But it changes completely a lot of the days. That could be the trees look different because the sun is shining, or like today they are still wet from the rain. Today it's quite windy, so the leaves are blowing a bit more than usual, or things have been cut down. I'm just going to stop before I pass this by. This tree here, every time I pass it, it brings a smile to my face, because it looks like there's two people in an embrace. They're hugging, so it looks like there's somebody in front and then another person behind, and the left branch could be like the arm going up to wrap round the back of the neck, the person standing behind. It makes me smile every time. I've shared it with a few people, because I often see things in trees or clouds, and I like to say to people, do they see the same thing, or do they see something different? Sometimes they see a different animal or a different image, or even no image, which I find equally interesting. The fact that I see all these things and somebody might see nothing. And both answers are right, aren't they? Both perceptions, all perceptions are right, whatever people see. We see them from our own minds and our own experiences. I'm just struck by how well I'm doing this morning, that I've got this far without coming across anyone. It doesn't normally happen. So this is wonderful, just to be able to stand and slow and go, oh, okay, I've got time to get some more thoughts together. So I'm filming this in February, so depending on when you might view this, I like to say the date or the month. And I've done a walk every day, not necessarily around here, but every day in February, and a lot of January too. I like to start a new habit a few days before I'm going to make that change, just to see if I can make it stick. I've talked about that in clips before now, before my New Year's resolutions. I start them, so I probably start them before Christmas or just after, ahead of the new year, so that I know already if it's something I can do, rather than disappointing myself by making a resolution that sounds wonderful in my mind, might sound wonderful out loud or on paper, but it might be something that I can't possibly do in reality. So I always like to try ahead of time, just to be clear with myself that it's doable. And often things are doable, aren't they? But I find it easier for myself to do things when it's less controlled, less of a you have to, more of a choice. So when I feel like I'm choosing to do it and there's no risk of not achieving, that's what I like. So there we go, a bit of a mix of thoughts there. I can see a person and a dog in the distance. So I don't know if they're going to walk this way or in a different direction. So I'm just going to slow down a little bit, just give me time to finish my thoughts. But yeah, so this does change, this path. It changes with seasons, it changes with my mindset. Sometimes I rush right through it. I don't even notice anything. Sometimes if I'm too busy recording a clip, then, a bit like today, I'm talking about change, but have I actually noticed any as I'm walking because I'm talking? That's okay. Everything we do is okay, isn't it, really, at the end of the day? No big deal. I can always walk that part again. I'm sure I will before my walk is finished without filming. But yeah, change. It's good to notice it all over, isn't it? I like to notice the slightest change in environment and the slightest change in people as well, because we all have those slight changes that denote whether there's something wrong or not. But there we go. So today, maybe notice what changes you have in your environment, ones that you normally walk. I don't know how stable this is going to be because it is windy. So if it's all over the place, I apologise, but the thoughts are still there and hopefully they've come out properly. So have a good day and notice changes in you, internally, and your external environment. Enjoy.